After spending hundreds of millions of dollars trying to crush Steam, Epic and Xbox have finally given up on their original game plan. Epic is literally ripping out the guts of their
nobody saw it coming
launcher because it was built inside a game engine. And Tim Sweeney just admitted in an interview that Valve doesn't have a monopoly after all. Meanwhile, Microsoft is quietly turning Windows 11 into an Xbox interface instead of fighting Steam. So why did multi-billion-dollar giants fail to dethrone the platform? And why are their new 2026 strategies still missing the point? One of the biggest issues plaguing alternative...
Well, it's probably because they're not actually into the culture. They're into a fake manufactured culture that was created by international investors and corporations.
PC storefronts has always been basic software performance. Steam users have taken instant library loading, minimal system overhead, and reliable background updates for granted for over a decade. By contrast, the Epic Games launcher became infamous for slow load times, high resource usage,
I've never used it.
The root cause of this...
I used it right at the beginning when it first came out, and they were releasing all kinds of crazy free games. But it doesn't even matter anymore for those games that I claimed because I stopped using the launcher.
Explode comes down to a fundamental choice. The Epic Games launcher was built as an application inside Unreal Engine, rather than a lightweight native desktop app. Opening the launcher effectively meant booting up a full game engine environment just to render the digital storefront and load a list.
Let me guess, they did it as a tech demo. They were just doing it just to see if they could do it, because apparently they like to do that in the gaming industry now.
Of games. In February 2026, then general manager of the Epic Games Store, Steve Allison.
I mean, just look at Halo. They wasted all their time on that technology to make it look pretty, that dithering thing. For what?
Addressed the launcher's state. The launcher sucks. Let's call it what it is. It's really slow. Allison confirmed that Epic had begun work in October 2025 to completely strip out that bloated framework. We're ripping the guts out of the Epic Games launcher entirely. Well, mostly entirely.
I don't think it's gonna work.
Replacing it. Epic's internal testing data for the upcoming launcher V2, which is targeting a public beta in mid-August 2026 sometime.
Nobody trusts Epic is the thing. Everybody trusts Valve and GOG or GOG, whatever you want to call it.
Around Gamescom claims cold boot speeds are 5 to 6.5 times faster after abandoning the heavy legacy architecture. So we should get more info on this in the coming weeks when the public beta is here. However, right as the multi-year rebuild reaches its critical testing phase, the leadership guiding it suddenly shifted. In mid-July 2026, Steve Allison quietly departed Epic Games after 8 years leading the store to become Chief Business Officer at Saber Interactive.
Of course.
Tim Sweeney publicly thanked...
These corporations, they just trade people all the time. I saw that Bobby Kotick is going to, like, Paramount or something.
Allison on X for growing the storefront to 78 million monthly active users before announcing Martin Keeley, the former head of Blizzard's Battle.net, as the new vice president and general manager of the Epic Games Store. While Allison offered standard corporate optimism about his new role at Saber, his departure right before Launcher V2's public rollout signals a definitive end to EGS's original era. Allison was the architect of Epic's aggressive exclusivity-first playbook that they are known for. Comparing...
Yeah, dude, it ruined Borderlands for me. Borderlands 3, when it came out, it was Epic exclusive first, and it pissed me off to no end because I bought every Borderlands right as they came out, up until that point. And I couldn't because I wasn't going to waste my time on getting it on fucking Epic when all of my games were already on Steam.
Launcher V2 to Steam highlights the gap Epic is trying to close. Steam refined its lightweight store years ago, allowing users to launch games instantly without navigating through heavy store menus. When gamers...
I think a big problem they have is they're trying to compete with Steam when they really need to be competing with, like, a Nintendo. I think they need to compete with Nintendo and have a Nintendo-like experience on PC. And also have a whole bunch of promises that they can keep. Like, all of these games that they release will be DRM free. That was another big problem that I was running into with my free games. was they were all DRM locked, and I couldn't fucking play them on Linux unless I did a whole bunch of weird workarounds.
Switch between Steam and Epic, the performance gap instantly creates friction, so fixing their launcher addresses basic user frustration, but software speed alone brings Epic to baseline parity, rather than giving gamers a compelling reason to make Epic Game Store their primary client. The second major pillar of Epic's 2026 roadmap is
a really good one that they could compete with is GOG. GOG is not really trying to compete with Steam. They're kind of their own thing. They've got their own library of games. GOG is the place that you go for the retro games. Steam is the place you go for the newer games and indie games. So you can have that library.
Adding basic community and discovery features. Unveiled during Unreal Fest in mid-June 2026, Epic's 12-month development timeline includes user-written reviews and ratings, player profiles, custom avatars, and activity feeds.
It's too much.
Improved search, library filters, and third-party patch notes. But when you look closely at these additions, it shows Epic is adding features Steam users have relied on for over a decade. Steam's user review system features algorithms that filter out off-topic review bombs, track playtime statistics at the point of review, and display historical rating trends. Beyond reviews, Steam operates as an integrated social ecosystem. Valve built Steam Workshop, native control.
You're not going to beat Steam if you try and copy Steam. It's just not going to work because you're not going to be as good. You need to do something else. I think you need to go more for the PC gamers. I think they're going for console gamers who are switching over to PC, and still they're going to go for Steam.
Controller configuration tools with Steam input, user guides, trade markets, and public community hubs. This dynamic illustrates why developer-facing economics have not automatically shifted.
You can't do that. You can't do all of that. It's too much for you to handle. Steam has been around for so long.
Habits. Epic continues to offer developers an 88-12 revenue split alongside programs like Epic First Run and a policy giving developers 100% of their first $1 million in net revenue. Former Epic Game Store head Steve
What does that matter if nobody's using the Epic Steam or Epic Game Store?
Allison explained Epic's long-term commercial goal in early 2026. Our growth is not about the exclusives. Our growth is going to come from shifting the share of sales on games shipping in both places. We're not going to topple Steam. Steam is a huge part of the PC ecosystem. It's not going away. Noting that Epic hopes to capture 30% to 40% of the PC market share over 5 years. But while developers
fucking idiots, dude. They need to offer a different service that is missing. That's what they need to do. A really good one that they could do is acquire a whole bunch of console games from older generations and be the place for console games. We don't really have anything like that yet. Everybody's still using emulators because there's really not a place to get old console games.
Appreciate Epic's lower revenue cuts. Players buy their games where their friends list, mod libraries, and profile history already are. Epic is adding baseline store features in 2026, while Valve already spent over 2 decades building feature dependency into theirs. But on the other side of things,
and refining it exactly how people like it, because there were problems along the way. And now Epic's going to have to face those same problems that people already had solved by Steam.
While Epic is focusing on store software, Microsoft is taking a different approach to PC gaming. In late July 2026, rumors circulated after comments on the Xbox 2 podcast.
See, Microsoft just figured it out.
Suggested Microsoft might pull its games off of Steam to force users onto the Xbox app.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Quickly clarified just to be taken out of context.
I thought he was about to bring up the fact that they're bringing Xbox 360 and Xbox games to PC, and I love that move. We need more old console games on PC that aren't just fucking emulators. I want a library that I can keep downloading from, you know?
Microsoft generates a lot of revenue from Steam sales
this
for titles like Sea of Thieves, Call of Duty, and Forza, plus many more, which would make a Steam exit financially impractical. Instead, Microsoft's 2026 PC strategy focuses on integrating Xbox features directly into the Windows OS while continuing to release games on Steam. The core of this strategy is Xbox Mode on Windows 11. Xbox Mode offers a full-screen controller-optimized interface designed specifically for gaming laptops, handhelds like the ROG Ally, and desktop PCs. It aggregates games from Game Pass, the Microsoft Store, and even third-party launchers into a single interface.
I just don't want the ads. Just get the ads out, or make the ads better. If they'd be less corporate and less shitty, then I wouldn't mind the ads, actually.
On July 22nd, 2026, Microsoft officially launched Xbox backward compatibility on PC in early access, introducing original Xbox titles to the
I own 3 out of 4 of these games. I don't have the Conquer game. I have the other 3. On disc, the cases are right next to me.
PC ecosystem. These games feature 4x resolution upscaling, full screen windowed options, and Xbox Play Anywhere digital cross ownership. Leaked publisher roadmap documentation outlines upcoming phases, including a disc to digital program allowing physical console disc owners to claim PC licenses, alongside planned Xbox 360 backward compatibility rollouts for 2027 and 2028. So Microsoft is planning to bring some of your most iconic games to your PC. Microsoft's target with Xbox Mode is essentially just SteamOS and Big Picture Mode. Rather than trying to force players to abandon Steam,
I hope it looks like this. I hope it looks like the Xbox Live Arcade, or even if we're able to have different themes, that'd be awesome. It could have the fucking, what do you call it, the Blades theme. That's my favorite one.
Microsoft is attempting to own the interface wrapper on Windows devices. However, Valve's work with Proton and SteamOS on the Steam Deck and now the new Steam hardware which is out gives Steam a head start in handheld UI and performance optimization, presenting a direct hurdle for Microsoft's efforts.
Yeah, I'm definitely going for Steam over Microsoft. For one, I'm a Linux user, so I really know how to use Linux,
which we see right now with new handhelds picking
SteamOS Microsoft
over Windows for their devices. This shift,
but you know what Microsoft is doing is going to create competition.
In how Epic and Microsoft are trying to compete with Valve align with a broader narrative change from Epic's leadership. During the height of Epic's legal battles and antitrust campaigns against Apple and Google, Tim Sweeney regularly highlighted 30% platform fees, including Valve's standard split, as harmful to the industry. However, in his June 2026 interview with PC Gamer, Sweeney changed his framing. When discussing Valve's position in the PC ecosystem and why Epic is now advocating for an open, interconnected standard called Team Open, Sweeney said, "Steam's got a pretty sweet business. A lot of gamers love Steam, but imagine if you could have Steam on all of the platforms. What if you could have it on iPhone? What if you could have it on Android? It's now clear that nobody's going to..."
But that's not what we're getting. You're talking about putting Epic on all of those things.
End up with an absolute monopoly over gaming. Valve's not going to have one. 8 years after the launch of the Epic Game Store, Valve's market share remains secure. So what we're seeing here with the changes coming from Epic and Xbox in 2026 represent necessary structural fixes. Epic building a faster launcher and adding basic social features removes long-standing points of friction for players, claiming free titles or just playing Fortnite. Microsoft introducing Xbox Mode and bringing legacy console backward compatibility to PC adds tangible value for their users.
Yeah, and that's not good for Epic.
Yet neither strategy directly threatens Steam's market position.
Yeah, because it's still Microsoft and Epic.
Valve's advantage in PC game distribution goes beyond store.
And also, Linux, just, you can change the vibes of it. You don't have to go for the Xbox walled garden and the way it looks and everything. You can literally change it however you want it, and it already looks good. That dark, sleek, almost PS2-like vibe that the Steam machine gives off, love it.
Or fees or launcher boot times. Steam's core...
Honestly, Steam's vibes just remind me of a mixture between Windows Vista which is my favorite Windows when it comes to how it looks, not how it runs. I fucking hate Windows Vista. But the way it looks is amazing. I love it. Mix Windows Vista with PlayStation 2, and that's what you get. You get Steam.
Strength is the total value of its platform features. Every time a user configures a controller through Steam Input, downloads a mod from the Steam Workshop, checks a community guide, or plays a game on Linux using Proton, Valve adds functional utility that competitors have not matched. When competitors focus on basic feature parity, like adding user reviews or reducing launcher.
You know, one thing that I think is coming from Steam, but I really wish they would hurry up with, or they would do, is to have outside mod support. I want to be able to install mods through Steam that I don't just drop manually, unless that's already a thing and I'm just missing out on that. Let me know down in the comments.
Load times, which would seem like obvious changes, they are working to match the experience Steam offered years ago. Epic Games Store's new vice president and general manager Martin Keeley, who took over leadership in late July 2026, faces the task of executing Launcher V2 and its up.
God damn it, dude. Is it like they just always pass around the same people over and over again? This is why they're so enshittified. They're just passing around the same people, and they make everything the same because they have the same strategies because it's the same fucking people.
Upcoming feature waves. However, as long as alternative storefronts focus on catching up to Steam's baseline features rather than offering a distinct functional advantage, Valve's position at the top of the PC ecosystem won't change.